In an unexpected and distressing twist of fate, several Indian nationals searching for employment opportunities in Russia have found themselves embroiled in the battlefield of Ukraine. Families in the village of Mator, Haryana, are speaking out, claiming their loved ones were coerced into fighting for the Russian military in a conflict far from home. According to Sky News, which has obtained numerous contracts from the Russian Ministry of Defense, these documents stipulate that the men must perform military service to defend the Russian Federation. Bearing the signature of a commander and a military unit's stamp, the authenticity of these contracts is hardly questionable. However, the men and their families contend that coercion played a central role in their signing. Seeking employment, the men initially traveled to Russia on tourist visas. Upon arrival, they were arrested by Russian forces for breaching visa regulations. They then faced a harrowing ultimatum: serve in the Russian military for a year or face a decade behind bars. With their communication means and passports seized, they were escorted to a military camp and made to sign contracts, written in Russian, a language unfamiliar to them, under duress. The affected families insist that the men ventured out for non-combatant roles. Following less than 2 weeks of training, they were suddenly thrust into the heart of the military action. One such case is that of 20-year-old Ravi, whose brother Ajay told Sky News about the deception that landed Ravi on the front lines. These distressing events repeat across several families whose loved ones face similar fates. The Indian government is stepping up its efforts, seeking the early release of its citizens. Statements from the spokesperson of the Indian Foreign Ministry, Randhir Jaiswal, highlight the urgency of the matter and the continuous communication with Russian counterparts. But as they await government intervention, body bags have already begun to return home, a bleak testament to these men's realities. As the war rages on, snippets of their harrowing experiences reach their families, like Ravi's voice from a tank surrounded by the roar of explosions, or resonate through pleas for rescue, as in the case of 19-year-old Harsh Kumar. These men speak of bombings, drones, and the omnipresent threat of death, a bleak daily struggle that is a far cry from the jobs they envisioned. Tragically, many of the men who have been lured into this grim scenario hail from small cities and towns where bleak economic prospects send them abroad in search of a better life. Families have exhausted their savings, sold assets, and incurred debts to finance what were believed to be promising opportunities, only to face betrayal. The emotional toll on the families back home is heart-wrenching as they grapple with the well-being of their kin, praying for their safe return, all the while realizing that with each passing day, hope becomes more fragile. While no official statistics provide the exact number of affected Indians, it is presumed to be in the dozens. For now, those back home wait in despair, clinging to the possibility of bringing their loved ones home from a war they never chose to fight.